So we're back. We're back. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Uh, so yeah, pretty good event, wouldn't you say, Chris?
Yeah, I think what a start for the World Indoor Tour. I think we had some really good races, some good performances, and some surprises as well, which was
Yeah,
nice. And our predictions were
all
a
over the
mixed
place.
bag.
Yeah, I feel like I might have accidentally caused some bad fortune on some of them with my predictions, but
Well, yeah, you and me both.
uh,
Should we start at the beginning then?
yeah.
I guess. Well, we discussed the women's shot, and I don't think the women's triple jump changed much, did it? After that.
No, it was very
Um,
much wow for Purveyor, yeah, with a new personal best.
um, I guess. Well, the men's pole vault was only just finished. That's why we're a bit late, but that was the next thing that started. Yeah, Renault again. We did 592 the other week, 595 today. This is exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, to be doing this in January is nothing short of impressive, really.
I guess with obviously being hopefully being Olympic year, he's seeing what Mondo is doing and what Kendricks is doing, and he might need 6 meters in Tokyo to win a medal.
Yeah,
So to start this well, and he's always done well indoors anyway. You think about Birmingham World Indoors 2018 when he had all the young guys, trying to get that gold, and then he still managed to win it. But then he wasn't really challenged that much today either. I mean, Ludwig was second with 580, but the rest, Lisek,
yeah,
Valentine, where were they?
yeah. Very disappointing for Lisek. I mean, I think he'll probably go back and try and work on a lot there because it really didn't go to plan for him today.
Yeah, to go out of 562, well, he only cleared 547, so
Yeah,
nothing to write home about. And
yeah,
same with
especially when you're a 6 meter man.
yeah, Valentine went out the same as well. Cole Walsh third, yeah, not too bad, but yeah, it was mainly about Renault, which is good.
Yeah, but it's still nice to see the American pole vaulters doing quite well there.
Yeah,
Other
yeah, I
than
think
Kendricks, it's mostly been Kendricks on the international stage so far.
yeah, I suppose it's good that the kind of second string, as I say, of the American pole vaulters are still there and still performing well. Yeah, especially for Ludwig, that was a good result for him, I think.
Yeah,
The men's 400 meters was the first kind of it wasn't really final, was it? Because they only had four. I didn't realize they only had 4 lanes, so I was like, why they split it? But yeah, I guess the six guys ran over 2 heats.
yeah,
Um, and yeah, we missed it. We didn't mention the German, did we, in our preview?
yeah. It's very yeah. I mean, I remember sort of writing in my notes, didn't bother saying it that oh yeah, this young guy he had set a new personal best this season, but to take on a field like that is and win, wow, world indoor medalists, wow, with Mazak 3 times gold medalist, um,
Yeah,
very
I guess
impressive.
having the two different heats with Husilios being the first one, that was a quicker race. So even though he was like second in his race, he still beat Maslak, who was the winner of the second one. But that was a slightly slower race anyway. But yeah, wasn't well. It was weird having it over 2 races, but it was nice start to the meet.
Yeah. In the chat, we've got David Hipsley saying, rank the GB performers. He said that he'd go Sophie, Dina, Elliot, Melissa. What would you say?
I'd actually go. I don't know. Actually, I think I put Elliot first. Actually, I thought that was a brilliant tactical race, indoor running against a really strong field. And then I'd probably put Sophie second, Dina third, and Melissa fourth. That's my.
Okay.
What would you do?
I'd probably go Dina first. I mean, of course, we have high expectations for her anyway, but an equal personal best, having so early on in the season, I'm very impressed with. Of course, Sophie did throw very impressively, so I'd probably put her second, Elliot third, and Melissa fourth for keeping pace with a pretty strong field.
Yes, I think. Yeah, I think it was quite a good race all round from all of them. All the performances were pretty good from all four of them today.
Yeah,
But um, yeah, I think we'll go into the men's 800 then. That was kind of the next like final on the track. Yeah, we said beforehand that it was close. It was going to be close. We weren't sure what Bottas was going to do because he's not really running doors that much.
yeah,
But yeah, Giles, I was so impressed. I think he was only 400ths off his PB. he had a great year last year. He seems to be getting the tactics right now as well. I guess we knew Kramer was probably going to go off fast, and he paid for it, and he finished fifth. But I thought that was one of the better races of the night.
Yeah, it was very impressive tactically. Sort of, if that was a game of chess, I think many people would be quite proud of that. But
He's been watching Queen's Gambit,
oh
obviously.
yeah, clearly. Um, but yeah, it's interesting to see Boss. He seemed to be there, but just not quite enough. Whereas Giles was just on it and in the right place at every point. He knew when he wanted to kick. He knew when he wanted to crank up the pace.
Yeah, letting because obviously Kramer went out. Well, Kramer or Kramer, depending if you're a Cotter or Cram fan, they both pronounce it differently. Kramer went out pretty quick, and you could tell. Well, the third lap was pretty slow, wasn't it? I think it was only about 27 seconds. But then Boss was a bit too far behind, and he got himself in a good position. But then he couldn't quite get past the other French guy, I think, who was in second. So yeah, he left it a bit too late. It shows little bit of not quite done as many indoor seasons as like someone like Giles, who's won medals indoors. So yeah, I think if Giles does do European indoors, I'd be penciling him maybe as the favourite actually.
Yeah, very impressive. But and for Benjamin Robert of France in second place, a new personal best.
Yeah, it was a good race.
Yeah, very exciting.
Sorry, Dave doesn't. Dave's giving me abuse on the chat. Come on now. Well, I actually think. Oh, you've been told to get ahead.
Yeah, it's been over a year. I'll tell you that.
No, yeah, I still think Elliot did a good job of the Brits. I know it wasn't a PB, but it was nearly a PB,
Yeah.
and in a field like that, it was a good performance.
Yeah, and also with middle distance, you can only necessarily beat the people on the day. If it's not a fast race, you may not be running a fast time. It's a lot more
Yeah,
dependent on who you're racing.
yeah, that's true. And
So
right, what else was going on? Well, should we talk about the men's 60-meter hurdles? Because mainly just because our predictions were that it was going to be this great battle between Jarrett Eaton and Pascal Martino Lagarde. Just for Eaton to like clatter the third hurdle and finish last in his heat.
yeah,
Martino Lagarde to then kind of, boy, he did something to his hamstring, I think.
yeah, just sort of pretty much on the line after the final hurdle, just pulling up.
So yeah, those two were not even in the final. So well done us.
But
But we
sort of,
did say it could be a case of any Frenchman won, and one of
yeah,
them did.
yeah, it was Belosian rather than Manga, who wow, of sideways Bev photo fame. But yeah,
Yeah,
very impressed with the France, and then Aaron Mallet in second with 7:59 there. Well, I'll just get the results up on the screen.
yeah. Borosian again. I think he's always done pretty well indoors, and I guess like we said we've seen Manga at Glasgow.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I guess it feels like French male sprinters in particular and hurlers. You just never know what you're going to get.
yeah,
It can be injuries, it can be false starts, it can be non-starts, it can be crazy times. So I think that was pretty much encapsulated in in those 60-meter hurdles races tonight.
yeah, very much so. It's a bit. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing here. Then I'm getting confused. Um, yeah,
Well,
but
so as I said, the chat is everyone's loving Sophie McKenna. On
yeah,
the chat.
well, she
I've
deserves
been
the love for sure. I mean, if she's doing that at this point, and she didn't look massively impressed, as I said earlier, so she she honestly could be doing a lot more this season.
Yeah, I think to do five throws over 18 in the series itself speaks volumes at where she's at. It wasn't a fluke or anything. It was
Yeah,
a very good set of training, obviously, that she's had. So
yeah, we
well
definitely
done, Sophie.
yeah. She's definitely putting her name down as a finalist for European indoors and potentially in sort of wider world competitions at this point.
Yeah, I think even you think maybe even medals at European indoors. Really, I mean, I know obviously the top three this today were all European, and Spanish wasn't one of them. But in that kind of competition, anything can happen. I think European indoors, you often get the weird results. So it would be great for Great Britain to have a medalist in the women's shot put. I can't even remember. You probably
Yeah.
weren't even born when that last happened.
Yes, we're always very underrepresented on the throws. It's good that we've got Sophie out there representing us on that front.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, good work, Sophie. We've had another question from Dave. Thanks, Dave. um, do we think Dina will get a potential sub 7 by the end of the indoor season? We kind of briefly mentioned that in a previous day, and it might happen. And then on the basis of today, so she ran 7:11 in the heat, which was good because I loved that she ran through the line.
Yeah,
I thought I don't like it when people ease up in a 60. It's like, what's the
yeah.
point?
There's no space to ease up. It's a waste of time.
And then 7:08 equal PB in the final. Yeah, if that's your first race after over a year of not racing at that level,
Yeah,
yeah, why not sub 7?
yeah. I think it's definitely possible to, if she is running those sorts of times now, if she's having fiercer competition. Not that this was a bad field at all, but if she does end up against Svoboda, she'll definitely want to beat her, especially at European indoors when there's a medal at stake.
Yeah, I think when it comes to a championship final, you'd be very silly to bet against Dina at this level, at
Yeah,
European level. um, I didn't think Asher didn't look too good today. She was, I think, fifth in 7:22. um, it starts obviously good, but I didn't think her pickup was as good as it normally
no.
is. But yeah, what did you think about that field in particular?
Well, yeah, just going back to Dina, I thought that she had a bit of a in the final, bit of a bad start. Like she seemed to sort of take a glance over whether she thought there was a bit of a false start. I don't know. She managed to pick it up a lot more much later, which was very good. Otherwise, very impressed with Del Ponte with running a new PB for third place. I'll just get up the results.
Yeah, Del Ponte's backing up the form she had outdoors last year, and yeah, it looked
Yeah,
pretty good. Um, but yeah, it was a decent field, and I think Dina was a little bit. I mean, I don't think she was ever in under threat of not winning the race, but it did seem. I guess the 60 meters always seems close, but yeah, it was a very dominant performance as you'd expect from Dina.
yeah, yeah. I think she'll be very happy with that as a way to start her season. It'll be interesting to see how it carries forward to the outdoor season. That she doesn't normally do much of the indoor season, normally just one or two races. So if she is planning on doing a full indoor season, that how she will carry that to the outdoors. That is assuming that we have outdoor championships such as the Olympics. Which
I think is she doing two more races in Europe before? I think over the next few weeks. I'm not sure. Um, but yeah, either way, I think the fact she's committed to the indoor season is a good thing. I think she obviously needs the races because she hasn't raced for a while. And yeah, just on that race, a bit underwhelming from the Germans, I thought.
yeah, didn't quite materialise in the end.
But then I don't know, is this a running theme? Are we always a bit underwhelmed by the Germans when it comes to some races? You see the times they run sometimes, and you're like, why are they not winning more medals? But maybe it'll all click into place one day. And who? Yeah, because the main French girl, she pulled out, didn't she? And we had who was the one who came second?
Second, we had it's Umbisa Zonga. I'm not good at French. I'm sorry.
It's all right. But yeah, I didn't. Yeah,
Zonga.
I guess that was a pretty impressive performance.
Yeah, to be doing that as a replacement kind of thing.
And the chat is saying Del Ponte was closer than I expected at 40 meters. Yeah, I agree. I think I was a little bit. Like we said, Dina didn't have as good a start in the final. Maybe she did in the heat, but luckily she's got that the last 20 meters. You know she's going to pull away, but it was definitely a little bit closer than we were
Yeah,
expecting at 40 meters. But then Del Ponte's got a pretty solid start as well, so that maybe she will be the main threat as opposed to. Well, we don't know what Svoboda's going to do if she goes to. I'm assuming obviously she'll be the face of the games in Turin. So yeah,
yes.
it'll be interesting to see how that goes.
I was going to say in front of a home crowd, but we won't go there.
Electronic crowd, isn't it?
Yeah. Pay your zlotys now to get your face there.
Um, yeah, so that was the women's 60 we've kind of covered there. I think probably one of the surprise of the night, probably in the women's 60 hurdles.
Yes.
We were on when we were doing the preview where the heats were taking place. But yeah, all the big names were in the final. Ampersand was Visser, Tale, and Herman. But Yeah, it was Naziri, the finish. I mean, how great the Finnish sprint hurdling has just like taken off in the last 2 years, isn't it? And the national record 792.
Yeah, it was very impressive. It almost seemed that she didn't seem to be in it for most of the race. That you were focusing on Amusan and Visser, and then you see suddenly on the outside lane is, oh, who's that? I think she got first.
Yeah, because same. I was just so engrossed in this, like who's going to win between Amazon and Visser, and I was like, oh, Amazon's got this. And then like as the line came, it was like, who was it? This like flash just went past the near side of the track, and I was like, who was that?
Yeah.
And I guess that helps being in lane 8 sometimes.
Yeah, and I mean, Amazon had she clattered the first hurdle, which maybe that might have made the difference. Maybe it would have just made her a bit closer to Naziri. But I think she'll definitely be regretting that, and whether that might be something that she'll go back to work on for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, she is for me. She's becoming one of the more consistent hurdlers in the world. I think Amazon is going to be the one that is going to challenge the Americans when we get to if we get to Tokyo.
Yeah,
Vista, yeah, Vista's solid. She's always consistent, but at the same time, you think maybe these are the kind of races she should be winning. I don't know.
yeah, good point. I mean, if you especially think that Visser would, well, she's the European indoor champion, you'd kind of expect her to be the number one European there. So she might, yeah, be sort of a bit worried to see the Naziri overtaking her at this meet.
Yeah, and European indoors could be a close one again because I mean, Tale didn't run as well. Herman ran okay. I think she was fourth.
Yeah.
And then if you add in Tiffany Porter, who ran 786, I think, or 789 at the weekend, yeah, that'd make for a great final.
Yeah, I look forward to it.
What other events did you enjoy tonight?
Oh, wow, did I enjoy that? Uh, have we discussed the long jump yet? The men's long
We
jump?
have not. We said, well, I said it might be which Echevarria is going to turn up and
Yeah.
how far is he going to jump.
And the
He did
answer
all
was
right.
a bit of both.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was good to see him over 8 meters this early on in the season, and it's nice to see. Also good to see that Michael Masso, also from Cuba, set a new personal best to come second.
Yeah,
So
Cuba were all over the horizontal jumps tonight,
yeah, it was a
winning
good,
the
yeah,
women's triple as well.
so yeah, I think it's nice to see Echevarria back. Maybe this might help him get into a sort of more predictable kind of season. He's always been up and down all over the place. Maybe it is just a small, wow, a modest start before hopefully goes on to some great distances later on in the season.
Yeah, I mean he's still very young, so yeah,
Yeah,
there's a lot of
younger than me.
excitement. There's not many out there, Alex, that are younger than you. But yeah, no, I think he's proven that he's won. That's the main thing. He won today. That was
Yeah,
probably his main aim, was just to get the win, and stop thinking about the big distances and the big jumps, and just trying to get wins under his belt and some consistency. Even though he did his big jump in the first round and then kind of pretty much fouled out after that.
yeah,
But, and then Tentoglu again, solid as always indoors. Always pretty consistent. And Montler was fourth with his backwards baseball cap, which
yeah. But yeah, I thought it was a bit questionable to in an event like the long jump that might sort of it could fall off or it might just make a mark in the sand, making your mark further back.
exactly is that nothing from the Ivana Spanovic safety pin gate in 2017.
Or from Blessing Okagbare at that Diamond League a few years ago.
Yeah, exactly. um, Yeah, so we mentioned that Echevarria is younger than you. Let's go back to someone. Well, I said we already mentioned Renault's about my age, so doing it for the older guys. Yeah, I think the field events tonight. I don't think they were the greatest fields we could see, but again, there was enough performances to get our teeth into and something to look forward to. But then it was quite sparse actually on the field event side, wasn't it? I mean, I know there's not that many indoors anyway, but there's only
Yeah,
4 on the schedule.
yeah. So yeah, it's would have yeah on the pole vault side. Yeah, would have been nice to see maybe Holtstepper do a bit better as well. But
Yeah, well, again, another one who's a little bit unpredictable,
Yeah.
and he's one of the guys who stopped Livellini from winning a world title,
Mm.
having never won one. Poor old Renault.
Yeah.
The one gold is missing. But yeah, then I guess the distance races, the women's 15. When I said McGeehan's going to win,
Yeah. That's. I think you've got some apologies to make to Seamus and to Jamie.
yeah, sorry, and to all of Ireland basically.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ireland. You got your hopes up. Well, she always gets my hopes up. She runs like I saw she was world lead in the 3000 obviously before tonight, and I thought, oh, she's obviously in good shape. And this I was kind of a bit like last year. I was expecting her to break 4 minutes, but she was doing well over 8, and it was. But I don't know what happened. She seemed to be trying to run well, but then it just kind of didn't happen. She was in a good position, and it just didn't seem to have it in the legs. So yeah, 4:26, and that's one to forget.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Definitely not anything that she'll want to dwell on too much. Hopefully that she's. It's not anything that's going to impact her for the rest of the year too much, and it's just a bit of a blip, getting off the cobwebs early season.
Yeah, but then it was a good race. It was. I really. It's really funny that I mentioned that there was Nanyondu and loads of Germans. I think the only German I didn't mention was Trost,
Yeah.
who went on who went on to win it. Yeah, I enjoyed that. It was a nice little scrap. You could tell. I thought Winnie was going to win it when they were coming around the last bend in the last 100. She seemed to have the pace, but I guess the way the indoors works, it was the Spanish Guerrero. She was on trying to get through the inside, wasn't at the gap. She had a little bit of pace at the end, but it was just always the one who was coming around the outside, and Trost was the one who was sat back, waited, and then when it was the straight, she kind of kicked past everyone and got the win. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Beautifully
close
timed
race.
finish.
Yes, well done her. Yeah, and then the 3000s,
Yeah.
we predicted the women's pretty good. We said
Yeah.
Coach, Courtney and Worku were going to be the three, and they were the three that were in contention. I think Worku could have won it actually. You tipped her. I think she could have won it had Melissa not kind of blocked her off a little bit on that
Yeah.
final bend. But yeah, it was Chepkovic that got the win. But yeah, it was a quick race, 8:38 from Melissa. That's not far off. That was a PB, wasn't it? She wasn't far off a PB.
Just
I don't think.
yeah. I think it was just. This is where it shows my
I know that
unprofessional.
Mishmash got a PB. I noted that down.
Yep.
One of our favourite athletes to say.
Yeah.
Mishmash.
Not not a PB for Brian, but yeah. Yeah. 4 seconds off her PB. But yeah. PB for Mishmash. PB for Gloria Kite. That's also a wonderful name. In
Yeah.
fourth. And also for Jip Vastenberg of the Netherlands in sixth.
And there you go. Other people coming away with PBs today. I've been told by Dave not to do any more Prandini abuse when I make predictions like that. Hey, well, the way Jenna was running last weekend, it can still happen, Dave. It can still happen. She can still win in Tokyo. Yeah, so women's 3000 was probably more interesting than the men's.
Yeah, yeah. I think when sort of thinking of Chep Koech, I find it sort of quite interesting with the steeplechasers indoors. It's kind of like 400-meter hurdlers being quite good at the indoor 400, and it's probably just that difference in the terrain and just having that extra little bit of stamina that helps them deal with the distance really.
Yeah, and I guess the kind of like going over the barriers, I don't know if it makes a difference. Like you say with the hurdlers, they're kind of a bit more aware of their surroundings, and I think you need that a little bit more indoors when there's closer running, tighter bends, and yeah, just more elbows out action. So yeah, I think she's definitely benefited from her steeplechase experience. But no, it was a good race.
Yeah. And then so yeah, the men's 3000.
Well, you called it. You called Bergen, didn't you?
Yep. I said don't never bet against the Kenyan.
And he came good. But I guess the surprise package was Katir in second, the Spanish guy,
Yes.
7:35.
Get those up here. Uh,
Yeah, again, host of PBs in that. Andy Butchart ran a PB, Jimmy Gressier ran a PB. It was another fast race. Again, and I guess looking forward to the Euro indoors, if you have those three there, Katir, Gressier, and Butchart, that's a pretty good solid field without the Ingebrigtsens there.
Yeah. Do you think that we're looking at a potential podium there?
Yeah, I can't. I don't know who else. There probably is someone we're missing that will probably won a quick time. But unless,
Yeah.
depending on what the Ingebrigtsens do, if they decide to go, I don't know what they're doing, what their plans are this year, but you'd expect them to be in the mix
Yeah. They're not the sort of people to pass up an opportunity to compete.
and win medals.
Exactly.
I'm sure one of them will be there, at least one of them.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, what was the positions again? I forgot. Bergen won it. Who
Bergen
was
won,
second? And then
Coutier, and then Jimmy Grisser in third, and Andy Butchart in fourth.
and where was the Guido? I tipped to
Fifth.
Guido.
Fifth, yeah. I mean, yeah, I thought your sort of bet on Aguida was quite reasonable but apparently not.
No, I wouldn't ever trust my predictions.
Yeah, shows the unpredictability of what it's like at this point in the season.
But no, that was a good first meet for the World Indoor Tour.
Definitely.
What was your highlight? Would you say?
I'd say Dina. I absolutely love her, and I'm so overjoyed that she's competing indoors. And even if I am thinking that she could have done better, I'm still feeling brilliantly confident. What about you?
Yeah, I guess Dina's always amazing. So she's always going to be a highlight. I guess in terms of the actual meet, I think I'm going to go with Naziri in the 60 hurdles for that national record from lane 8. I just didn't. No one saw that coming. It was a nice surprise. She was surprised. Amasan was surprised.
Yeah.
Like Andrew Cotter was surprised. No one knew. But yeah, it was. I think that was a really nice race, really good race, and yeah, it's always good to see someone set a national record unexpectedly and win the race.
Yeah. Well, for the people in the chat, what was their highlight of the evening? It'd be good to see some little feedback from them.
Apart from Sophie McKenna.
Yes. Because
Let's go for a non-British highlight. I think.
Yeah.
Okay. What would be your non-British highlight then if we were not picking Dina?
Non-British highlight. Probably Renault then. 595.
Yeah. Agreed.
Doing it at this point in the season, very exciting. It's exciting to see what it means in the wider context of the men's pole vault, which is just such an insane event at the moment.
Yeah. He's going to have to probably jump 6 meters to win a medal in Tokyo, the way that the rest of them are going. So
yeah.
That's going to be really tough for him, and you just wonder, like, I know because he's the same age as me, I think, is he going to be there in Paris? It would be so nice if he could finish his career at the Olympics in 2024. Because I don't know if he was, I don't know what I just predicted when he's going to retire, but I guess Paris Euros that would have been last year might have been something in the back of his mind as a place to finish, but now you're thinking, oh, it's only 3 years to Paris.
Yeah, it's only that shortened gap now. It is kind of in sight.
Yeah, well, I saw the interview with Dina today, and she said like she's now thinking of this as a start of a 4-year Olympic cycle. Even though there's an Olympics this year, even if it doesn't happen, it's still you're in that Paris cycle now because it's just so tight, so condensed with all the events that are happening over the next 3 years.
I think that's probably a good mindset with there being so much uncertainty over Tokyo as well, that it's not so much bet on that situation.
Yeah, and well, we hope Tokyo happens.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, the chat are saying Renault is also, although Kerry said Belosian as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, he's pretty solid. Again, well, he was the best man on the day. As always is the case with the hurdles, but you do wonder actually if Poggi had been there, I think he could have won that quite easily.
Yeah, I mean, of course it can always be a bit of a difficulty with him with both a semi-final and a final. He often has difficulty in, say, translating a really strong performance from the semis, but I think he could have taken on that field quite well.
Yeah, I mean, well, I guess British hurdlers have a habit of doing that. I remember Sarah Claxton, I think it was, when she broke the British record in the semi-finals and then finished last in the final. I think that was Euro indoors. All medal gone.
David saying another highlight seeing Herring next to Nanyondo on the start line. I mean, yeah,
that was good.
It's actually amazing just to see how such different physiques can be competing in the same event.
Yeah, Herring doesn't look like she should be running indoors because she's too tall, but she was doing a good job
Yeah,
pacing the race.
yeah, just keep to those tight turns and focus on it.
Yeah, yeah. I suppose it's a different art running indoors, isn't it? So yeah, do we? Well, I guess on the basis of tonight, no world records were even close, I guess. But
No.
looking ahead, any world records that we think could go this indoor season?
Well, if Zango can produce 18:08 in his first jump, I'd say the men's triple jump again. Other
Yeah,
than that, wouldn't put anything beyond Mondo in the pole vault because, I mean, that man is incredible. He's so young and he's like to have beaten Sergei Bubka's record that had stood for so long outdoors as well as Renault's indoor record. It really says something, and I don't see why he wouldn't be beating that mark again anytime soon.
yeah. I mean, literally, the sky's the limit for Mondo. I mean, 6:30, I think, is
Yeah,
potentially on the cards in the next few years. Um, I think I'm a little bit. If I were Colin Jackson, I'd be a little bit worried about that world indoor record the way Grant Holloway's running. I just thought when he raced at the weekend in America, he was really, really smooth, silky and smooth, I
silky
guess you
smooth.
could say.
Yeah,
And I felt like he was a little disappointed in the final when he didn't run quicker. So yeah, I think that's the one that maybe if it gets right, but it is a tough world record. It's been there for so long, so yeah, why would it go?
but I mean, yeah, we saw so many fast times in the latter half of the 2020 season. Pretty much because the only thing that was to compete for was fast time. So whether it is now much more in the sights of athletes that they want that record so that they can prove to sponsors, yes, I'm here. This is why you need to sponsor me because I can do this fast, super fast time.
Yeah,
When
I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what other any other records that could even be under threat. Um, I don't know. I mean, I guess there's not been. Well, the relays usually go at the jumps sometimes, but I guess it depends what teams are. Are Poland going to break the world record again
yeah,
in the 4x4? You never know.
well, I mean, I don't think that in 2018 you would have sort of looked at that team and said that's a world record breaking team, and it was almost as though there were no stars, they were all team players, and that's how they got uh,
I
that
literally
world
couldn't even
record.
tell you who was in that
No.
team. Yeah, but I guess looking ahead to the rest of the world indoor tour, hopefully we'll get some bigger names joining the tour at some point. Do you reckon we're going to see the likes of Mondo compete in a few weeks?
I think he's down to compete at the indoor meeting in Turin, not the Europeans, but the one on the World Indoor Tour. So, providing he doesn't pull out and there's no unforeseen circumstances, then we should hopefully be graced by his presence there.
So what other events have we got coming up? I can never keep across the indoor
So,
season.
on the 9th of February, we've got the event in Lievan and in France. Again, I hope I said that right. I don't speak French. I'll
I want to
just.
say that Merlin Otti ran quick there in the 90s, a long time ago. Maybe was that even a 200-meter indoor world record? I think. So I don't know.
And then
We're too young.
we also have meetings in Boston and Turin and Madrid. The exact dates I
I
am just getting up.
I guess the one in Boston is that the New Balance one, isn't it?
But yeah, that's the New Balance
That
one.
yeah, that'll probably be the one where we'll get someone like a Sydney McLaughlin running a 300 meters.
Yeah, yeah. Also,
Um, well, hopefully we'll see some big names there as well.
yeah. There's also a high jump meeting in Slovakia on the 2nd of February. Um, Boston is on the 13th of Feb, Turin the 17th of Feb, and Madrid the final of the series on the 24th.
Oh yeah, so it is a pretty decent season. It's quite condensely packed, but enough time to recover.
Yeah, and if they're sort of presumably only doing like every other meet or so for a lot of them, they should be all right to compete there. A lot of them, and we should see some good competitions.
And well, hopefully it'll all lead to Turin, and we can get a good European indoors, and it can all happen, and it can be amazing. And we can all
Yeah,
watch it and watch an athletics championships again and be excited.
yes, we need one so badly.
Yeah. So well, hopefully we'll well, we'll keep doing this as well after a few of these meets. We'll try and follow the World Indoor Tour as much as possible.
Yeah. So yeah, Kerry saying in the chat, Dusseldorf on Sunday and the US Track League 2, and we've also got
Well, is that Jade saying that both world indoor records over 200 meters were set in Reading? So yes, knowledge. I can't even remember who set the men's. Frankie? I'm just guessing. I was probably too young.
I was definitely too young.
Yeah, you were minus years. So yeah, hopefully we'll try and.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
Frankie.
it was Frankie. Yeah, so hopefully we'll try and do more of these again. A little preview and a little review of the World Indoor Tour meets. We might do some of the silver ones, the less important ones, if there's depending on who's going and what the fields are and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, thank you for everyone watching for joining us, and thank you for speaking up in the chat. It's been good fun.
Yeah, well, yeah, we hope. Well, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? We might try and get some guests on, have some people on to make it a bit more fun as well. So yeah, it's been good fun.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us, and yeah, we hope to see you again soon for another preview and review show here on Twitch.